Chelsea have just beaten Leicester 2-1 in what I would call a controlling fashion. And what we're going to do here for you guys today, anyways, or in general, I'm going to start doing breakdowns of the games. So whatever happens, I like to be objective, pretty much by myself, not the shameless part. But before we get into all of that, we're going to be breaking down the game. Just make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe. I wish I had a fancy widget for you guys out there, but we don't have that here right now. But yeah, for anyone that didn't watch the game, I'm pretty sure they're going to say, but you just about scraped a result against Leicester. That wasn't exactly the case, was it? So anyone that tries to start doing all of that, I will back your case, because you know what? The shameless time of YouTube has got to an all-time high. And as much as you want to be tribalistic, I think it's also good to be realistic. So you can kind of filter out who watches football and who doesn't watch football. But either way, let's get straight into it. There's quite a lot to talk about, in my opinion. But here we go, man. This is what we learned from that game. And also we can add in little bits of extra as well. And this pretty much goes from the first half going into the second half. And yeah, so what I've kind of learned, even just for myself, is, you know what? That man, Nico Jackson, the one that did get the first goal, he is a monster. There's no way, shape, or form that anyone can tell me any different. The guy's got 10 goal contributions already in the league, which is fantastic in itself. And you've got to really see the guy's development from last season. We're talking about how non-clinical he was in front of goal. And then look at that finish he done there. You're probably going to have to start calling him Action Jackson at this rate. The way he fought for that ball in the first half, in the first instance as well, which I thought Chelsea were going to go in and go and smash them even more. I thought, you know what? That's exactly what you need in a striker. A bit of dog and a bit of grit and a bit of determination, which I think we lack in a lot of number nines. And I don't think Jackson exactly went missing for the rest of the game either. I think he was unlucky to probably get maybe another goal. But other than that, he did create the second one in instance, with the header that Hermansen saved. But in the first half, I thought Jackson's all-round game was phenomenal. And that, not even just him, I thought it was actually pretty much all the Chelsea players. I thought they were all really good. Badiashile as well. Like, he won't get spoken about as much, but I thought, you know what? He was very aggressive today. He was meant to be playing left centre-back. And in the graphic at the start, it was meant to be playing in his middle one, but Levi Colwill did that. And you saw Caicedo dropping into that left centre-back role, while Badiashile got, really aggressive in the middle of the field against some of their midfielders. And I thought, you know what? I do wonder what his interceptions are. And of course, I've got some of the stats up, expected XG. And this is why, and, furthermore, ball possession. Chelsea finished the game with 2.64. In the first half was only 0.78. But I just thought that was not the game I was watching, and there was some decision makings in certain final areas, like Enzo Fernandez in the first half, which I mistakenly thought was Madueke, but he skipped someone, and he obviously could have dragged it back for a Cole Palmer or Caicedo at the edge of the box. But bar that, I thought there was Chelsea are very controlling. But yeah, Jackson is definitely one of the best strikers in the league at this point. And with all the GA he's got going on for him, he's not really spoken about enough. Not for me, anyways. And also something else I thought Maresca's done really well with Chelsea this season. And you know what? Especially in this game, it's the second point, is that Chelsea's press is extremely good. They press extremely well. Suffocation at its finest for the whole first half. Of course, we expected Leicester to get back in the game in the second half. They did try, bless their souls, but not enough. And obviously, you can't press for the full game. And I just thought Chelsea's traps that they were setting to win the ball back, especially high up on the pitch as well, Leicester couldn't get out. They struggled to even string any passes together, to the point 3 of their midfielders got yellow cards in the space of 9 minutes. And you know what? And that just makes me think that, Chelsea are building something really well at the moment. I believe now they're on 22 points. Is that the same as Man City? I might be wrong there. I think Man City might be on 24, 25. I haven't exactly looked at the table, but it's a positive sign. And don't let the scoreline fool some of you rivals. Is Chelsea should have easily won this, probably by 4 goals. I don't think Leicester really had a sniff. Maybe a chance where Jamie Vardy had his shot blocked, but not enough for me anyways. If you go and look even at XG stats, I'm not really crazy over them, but when you get a penalty, that raises it very, very high. And that doesn't exactly tailor make how the game was exactly planned out. I don't believe in it so much. But bar the penalties, of course, you know, Chelsea were just all over them. And it's okay to say, it's fine. But yeah, and I thought, you know what? And in the first half, of course, you're going to look at your Cole Palmers more than anything. You're going to look at, maybe even Fofana, but all these other players. But Cucurella is simply the best left back in the Prem, hands down. I don't really like Cucurella as a person on the field. Kind of reminds me of a Bruno Fernandes, bit of a whinge, a bit of a moan, a bit of a shithouse, right? So, but for you guys, you might like him. But Cucurella ran that game down that left channel. He absolutely is a boss, and he's on firing form, and he's hit that level that I saw at Brian, maybe even a level above. And you know what? Him and Levi Colwill especially, Colwill finds him all the time. All the time. And the combinations he plays, him and Enzo, or him and Palmer, or even when he gets down and links up with Jackson, the guy's phenomenal. Him and Caicedo on that side of that pitch is kind of fake at this point. And I feel like Cucurella does get his flowers. He's very rated at the moment, but I don't feel like there's a single player better than him at left back at the moment. If you're looking at the course of the season, someone's going to say Kirkes, but that's recency bias. Some may say maybe Simicast, maybe Vardy will get some goals, but Cucurella absolutely closed down that side, and he made it very, very hard in the first half, especially. And in the second half, of course, they tried to change things up. It just didn't get there. Not for me. I just thought he's just the boss. It's simple as that. And he's at a high level. And you know what? We need to be seeing this in a better competition. Well, European competition anyways. Obviously in the Champions League. See how he does up against other wingers. But right now he's thriving. And you know what? I'm this guy's biggest critique. Enzo Fernandez. 5 assists in 3 games. He's also got a goal to his name after today as well. And I'm very critical of him. But you know what? If you ask me who was the best player on the pitch today, I'm going to say Enzo was. I thought Jackson played very well. I think Cole Palmer was very unlucky, done more of a playmaking role from deep because, in certain areas, especially in the middle of the park, they tried to park the bus in that area. Cole Palmer did drop deep a few times and try to pick, some like needle-threaded passes. But for me, Enzo Fernandez ran that game. Is it just me? Or does he look a lot more fitter as well? And he looks lighter. Like for me, I feel like he had a bit more acceleration in his step. I thought he was absolutely serious. For me, him and Caicedo were the ones that will really dig in that game the way they needed to, like dictating it in a tempo they needed. 1-2s. Caicedo, by the way, is a monster. And I'm going to add these 2 points together. Them two as a duo has not exactly been the one that's been spoken about the most. It has been Caicedo, Lavia. But for me, them two today, especially anyways, were absolute monsters. And I said that about Jackson in the first part of this video. And I know people are going to say, it's only Leicester. Don't glaze it. Don't get over yourself. But are we looking at Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo, especially, over the last period of a few games, Enzo's been absolute, like, there's not really been a fault for me. Maybe a couple here and there where, some have agendas, some have bias. But that's the Enzo Fernandez that Chelsea are paid for. And that's the one that they need to be seeing more on a regular. And I think he's thriving at the moment. And you know what? I think he's going to continue to do even better. Chelsea's got a nice run coming up and a plenty of games. I'm pretty sure he's going to pick up some good form. Some may ask, is it worth 105 million? Is them sort of performances? If he can carry on today and as he has been in the recent games, then absolutely. But I thought he was serious food. Chelsea, again, total control. Second half, Leicester tried to come out. Bless them. Again, bless their little cotton socks. But not enough. The control of tempo, defending, attacking, moments to sit off, moments to break. They were lucky. Chelsea were unlucky, shall I say, to not score more goals. Whether it's Palmer, when Madueke blocked that shot. Hermansen made some very good saves. Madueke could have probably scored himself if he decided to put his foot through a little bit more. I thought Chelsea created enough chances to absolutely run away with this. But, of course, the scorelines are never as flattering as it needs to be. But I thought, yeah, they were definitely in total control. And a lot of that was actually thanks to the press of the defense getting up that pitch nice and high. And Fofana deserves its flowers out of all 3 defenders today. I think Badiashile gets a bit of praise, but Fofana for someone that has not hit fitness for a long time, he's been managed very, very well. I must say, Fofana played very well today. And again, even when they did want to bring on, I believe it was Mavadidi down the left-hand side, he was still there. And he was, of course, he was a rock. And I think like he's been spoken like he's doing good. But right now, that was another level for me today. Like for him, that's exactly how he should be playing week in, week out. And that role suits him to a T. So I think Fofana deserves his flowers. Leicester also got 0 shots on target the whole game, bar that penalty. So anyone's going to see, but they scored a penalty. But I'm talking about in play, by the way. So in play, they didn't have a shot on target and they were crap. And that was thanks to defense. You know, Jamie Vardy had an awful game. That's probably a game to forget for Jamie Vardy. But yeah, defense done their job. Fofana was the one that, again, was in nice positions again, and obviously defending very well. And I just think like he deserves a little bit of praise and deserves his flowers right there. And you can tell Chelsea's confidence is at an all-time high. You know, it's not just about today, it's about recent games. And yes, they didn't beat Manchester United. Yes, they didn't beat Arsenal at the Bridge. But same way, I think their confidence is at an all-time high. And I think you can take a lot of positives from probably from Chelsea in the last few weeks or so. You know, still scoring goals. Obviously conceding that goal was unfortunate. Lavia, I believe it was. You know, that was just stupid at the end, but it happened. Whatever, IU scored that goal, sorted, done it. You move on to the next game. 3 points. Let's see. I want you lot to fail. Of course I do. I want to catch up as much as I can, you know, bearing Man United badge. But is what it is right now. We still got a lot of football to play. We'll see where it goes. But Chelsea played a brilliant game today, and you can't deny that. But until the next one, make sure you smash the likes. Make sure you, of course, subscribe if you're new. Got plenty of these videos coming out. Win, draw, or lose, they will be out. One way or another. Maybe not Conference League, though.